So this depicts Highway 95 just to the north of Council, and it is the driveway of that belongs to the Yantis. Just to the south of this scene was the accident scene where individuals ran into the bull who was out of the pasture. They were terribly injured and had to be life-flighted because of their injuries. The bull was still alive and was causing a very serious problem with the emergency workers who were extracting those victims. There was a call at 7:22 to Mr. Yantis, who was at the dinner table with his wife and his nephew. They got on a four-wheeler and drove down their driveway to the end of their driveway.
While the Yantis family was coming down to the scene, Officer Wood fired several shots into the bull.
The officers indicated that the bull was near the front of the pickup with its head pointing in a northerly direction. So when Mr. Yantis was called to the scene, they came on the four-wheeler. He retrieved his rifle. He was noticed working the action and or loading the rifle, walked toward the bull, and as he passed Officer Wood, he made some statement, as nearly as we can quote, "Get that piece of shit away from my cow," or something, my bull, or something to that effect. Mr. Yantis moved around the bull and then prepared to shoot the bull probably from the front, or because the bull was facing north, and he was going to shoot the bull from the front. Officers Wood and Rowland became concerned because the shot would have been moving in the direction of the accident scene to the south. At that point, there was, according to some witnesses, a confrontation. May have been physical, may not have been physical. Again, the witnesses vary. Between Officer Wood and Mr. Yantis. And in fact, we can talk about that a little bit. In an initial interview with Mrs. Yantis, she indicated it was the officer, the best description would have been Officer Wood. But in a subsequent interview, it was Officer Rowland that she said had the interaction with him. Again, that's part of the issue here, is the challenges of the various stories. So at that moment, according to some of the witnesses, the officers, Mr. Yantis was either moved across the highway, and he took his gun and moved it across the body of Officer Wood and or toward Officer Rowland, and at least one of the witnesses indicated he made a aggressive move with his gun. At that point, the officers fired and Mr. Yantis fired. We do not know who fired initially. It could have been, anyone could have started first. We honestly don't know the answer to that question. There were a number of shots fired. I think Mr. Yantis was hit 12 times. 12 times. During that time, Officer Rowland said that he drew his pistol and he began to fire because he was concerned for his safety. Officer Wood said he was concerned for Officer Rowland's safety. And the one thing we do know is that Mr. Yantis' rifle was fired. Rowland had said, I'm hit, and actually Mrs. Yantis said she believed she heard Officer Rowland say, I'm hit. There were four critical witnesses at this scene. Their statements don't coincide with each other, and sometimes they don't coincide with themselves. And the question is, does that add up to proof beyond a reasonable doubt? And the answer here is no, it doesn't.